What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut. And today we are looking at part 3 of the Chargers' search for a franchise quarterback as we discuss the draft pick trade that would lead to the Eli Manning for Phillip Rivers swap, all said and done. And this occurred during the 2004 NFL Draft. Now, you might be saying, wait a second. In our last video, the Michael Vick trade breakdown, you said that the Chargers picked quarterback Drew Brees in the second round. Yes, this is true. However, Drew Brees was a bit inconsistent, and he had been benched for the backup Doug Flutie, who was ancient at that time, pretty ancient. And he just didn't look great, and he was a pending free agent after the 2004 season. So people were saying, okay, why worry about keeping him? There's no point in keeping the guy. You know, he's not looking that great. And it was clear that San Diego didn't have the cap space to keep the guy. Or the cap, I should say, because San Diego's a smaller market. So what the Chargers do is they say, okay, listen, we need to take another shot at our franchise quarterback. And they had the worst record, so they have the number 1 pick. And they were going to draft Eli Manning. But Eli Manning did not want to play in San Diego. You know, at this point in time, it's clear San Diego's had some trouble developing quarterbacks. Ryan Leaf's career went off the deep end. Michael Vick said he refused to sign in San Diego. So why should Eli Manning say, you know what, it's a great idea for me? Especially with the fact that his brother, is doing amazing in Indianapolis at this point in time. And his father, Archie Manning, is literally the driving force saying, you're not playing in San Diego. So the Chargers basically said, if we pick, Eli, he's not signing with us. He'll go anywhere else. He'll refuse to sign, and we're going to have to trade him. So let's trade the pick while we have a little bit of leverage. So they trade the first overall pick to the New York Giants in exchange for the Giants' first round pick, which is 4th overall, the Giants' 3rd round pick, which is 65th overall, and the Giants' 1st and 5th round picks in the 2005 NFL Draft. So let's jump into this, and we'll start with the Giants just to get them out of the way here. So with the first pick, they obviously pick quarterback Eli Manning. And in November of his rookie season, he would take the starting job after some struggles from the incumbent quarterback, and he just never looked back. So I don't want to dive too much into the guy's careers, but he did start 210 consecutive games from the day he took that starting job in November of 2004 until the end of the 2017 season, when the coaching staff, for whatever reason, decided to bench him for Geno Smith. And a lot of Giants fans were upset about that move. Myself, as an Eagles fan, I was not happy about that move. It was very rude to the guy who, well, we'll get to what he did for the team momentarily. But it was just a rude thing to do. He wasn't hurt. They just benched him. And 2007, he had an outstanding year. This was arguably the best year of his career. And he led the Giants to a Super Bowl. And in that Super Bowl, they met up with the undefeated New England Patriots in a game in which David defeated Goliath and Eli Manning won the Giants his first Super Bowl ring. Now, he had a few okay years, but then 2011 comes around, and again, he ends up having himself a solid year, particularly in the postseason, and the Giants again match up with the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and the Giants again pull the victory. A little bit less of an upset, but still an upset nonetheless. So he was pretty good. And then, like I said, in 2017, he was benched for Geno Smith, which upset a lot of people. And he would remain with the team through the 2019 season. So he retires after the 2019 season rather than play outside New York. And it was clear that the Giants just didn't have interest in keeping him around anymore as backup. But he is actually a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, no less, 4-time Pro Bowler, and his number is retired for the Giants organization. So all in all, pretty impressive career for Eli Manning. How did Phillip Rivers do in San Diego? Well, I should say the 4th overall pick, the Chargers would select quarterback Phillip Rivers. Now, he spent his first 2 years essentially as a backup, or his first year and a half. And Phillip Rivers, now he has an okay 2004 season, and he ends up coming back on a franchise tag. And people weren't expecting Rivers to return to the Chargers. Brees to return to the Chargers. But they kept him because they weren't 100% confident Phillip Rivers was ready to go. So into the 2005 season, Drew Brees ends up getting hurt, messes up his shoulder real bad. And essentially, that was the end of him in San Diego. We get to the 2005 offseason, and they offer him a 5-year deal worth $50 million, but it was really heavy on incentives. And he didn't want it, so he ends up going to the Saints over the Dolphins and the Chargers, and the rest is history. Obviously, he's going on to have a Hall of Fame career. And at that point, it's clear the Chargers are, ready for Phillip Rivers. And Rivers, he has a great first season, and we get to the 2007 AFC Championship game where they're playing the Patriots, and Rivers actually shows his toughness by playing the full game with a torn ACL. He didn't show it. It was clear that he wasn't 100%, but he played the whole game on a torn ACL. So it really just showed his, toughness. And the team just really never advanced far after that 2007 AFC title game. And he himself put up some good numbers, but the problem was they never could win in the playoffs. Come January, the team forgot how to play football, it seemed. And he would leave the team after the 2019 season, obviously joining the Indianapolis Colts. And he left San Diego as an 8-time Pro Bowler. So if you go by individual talent and success, Rivers is a better player than Manning. But if you go by team, Manning's better than Rivers at this point in time. So with the 65th pick, the Chargers would select a kicker Nate Kading. And Kading, he would spend over 8 years as a great kicker in San Diego. And when he left in the mid-season in 2012, he was actually the most accurate kicker in NFL history, as he had made 87% of his kicks. Now, he was a 2-time Pro Bowler for the Chargers. So now we get to the 2005 draft, because remember, the Chargers own the Giants' 1st and 5th rounders. So those picks become the 12th and 144th. So with the 12th pick, the Chargers would select linebacker Sean Merriman. And Merriman was an elite pass rushing linebacker when he was healthy, over 5.5 seasons for the Chargers. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, and he actually led the NFL in sacks during the 2006 season. So, pretty impressive player. So, the 5th-round pick, 144th overall, gets traded to Tampa Bay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for offensive tackle Roman Oben. And Oben, he spends 4 years in San Diego, 2 years as a starter. And he was good when he started, but he was more seen as a mentor for the future. So they kept him on as a mentor for 2 years. He was a good mentor to their young offensive line. So Tampa Bay now, with the 144th pick, they would send it to the St. Louis Rams for picks 155 and 231. So with the 144th pick, the Rams would select tight end Jerome Collins. And Jerome Collins would only play in 3 games for the Rams before being released. Now the Buccaneers, with the 155th pick, would select wide receiver Larry Brackens. And Brackens spent 2 off seasons with the team, but he never appeared in a game for them. With the 231st pick, they went with safety Hazma Abdullah. And Abdullah spent 2 months on the practice squad before being poached by another team. So all in all, excluding the Tampa Bay and Rams part of this, the Chargers finally got themselves a franchise quarterback to an extent. And the Giants got themselves a franchise quarterback. Now, I'm not here to debate Rivers v. Manning. Do both belong in the Hall of Fame? Again, I'm not here to debate that. If I had to pick one over the other, I would have to do more research on it. But both of them really did well on their teams. Obviously Eli's got the 2 rings. Rivers has 0 rings. But all in all, decent trade for both teams. And the Chargers finally got themselves a franchise quarterback on their 3rd attempt. So good job, Chargers, and good job, Giants. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was Eric. Have a great rest of your day.